Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto, and today I'm here with my co-host, my uncle Andrew Barreto. And today we're covering the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. After that, we'll get into our predictions for the conference championship, and then we'll move on to some more coaches' firings and hirings, and then we'll give you our weekly NBA standings update as well as some MLB free agency news. But starting us off, we had four more games this past weekend, and for the most part, they were great. We had Bills, Broncos, and Niners, Seahawks this past Saturday, and this Bills Broncos game was amazing. It was a great game. However, I do feel the Bills should have won, but they fell short. I've been saying all year the Broncos aren't legit, and even after this win, I don't feel they're legit. And with the injury news to their team, I still feel that way. I mean, Josh Allen apologized to his team,
Yeah.
saying, he let his team down, and Deion Dawkins said that it wasn't on him. But he was as great as Josh Allen is and was in this game. He was the biggest reason they lost this game. He had the costly fumble at the end of the half, which led to 3 points. Um, and then the defense in the second half finally get to stop. They pick off Bo Nix. And what does Josh Allen respond with? He responds with a pick of his own. I mean,
Yeah.
he single-handedly lost them this game. I know there was a lot of things that went on, right? James Cook fumbled. It was a 7 points or 10, 14 points, whatever you want to call it. I know there's the catch that turned into a pick. I know that happened, but Josh Allen was the biggest reason that the Bills lost, and he moves to 0-7 in overtime games. I mean, I think it brings up the question: is Josh Allen clutch? I don't know. I think the answer to this question is no, he's not.
Not right now, not after that stat you just gave me. I mean, the team total had, five turnovers, and anytime you have five turnovers in a professional game, that's going to be hard to overcome. And, they were right there to for the taking. The Bills, they had it in their hands, but just the continuous turnovers that became their kryptonite. And yeah, to answer your question, Josh Allen had three of those, and that interception was crucial because the defense did just get that interception from Bo Nix, and they had just a bunch of chances here, and yeah, I mean, I also give them credit for just speaking out. Like some people wouldn't do that, right? Say, that's on me. I let my team down. I give them a little credit. I give them some credit there because that shows leadership. That's a captain right there. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see what kind of coach they get, and you'll speak about that later. But um, yeah, they just have to go. This was supposed to be the year, but we always talked about them not having enough, and they seem to have enough for this game. It's just that Bo Nix down the stretch. Uh, in my opinion, I think I was surprised. He didn't do a whole lot there, but he did enough, to win
Yeah.
this game in overtime.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Josh Allen isn't a leader or whatnot. He manned up to it. He said, I let his team down. But people,
Yeah.
they were defending him, which is why I came out and said, that he was the biggest reason why they lost. But yeah, no, I mean, they had the opportunities. Turnovers killed them, right? But going back to my point about the Broncos being frauds, I mean, it took 5 turnovers in overtime for the Broncos to beat the Bills by 3. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. I mean, they give you the ball 5 times. I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I just, Bo Nix. I mean, just watching that game, um, and he was 26 of 46, 279, three touchdowns, one interception. Just some of the decisions, and I would expect a young quarterback like that to make just iffy, shaky decisions. But down when the game was on the line, in overtime, he led that team down the field, and got the points needed to finalize this, right? It was at the same time, yeah. Just now going on to the next game, it's like big news coming out, right? And we'll see how it goes for the Broncos, but it's not going to be easy.
yeah, but I don't like the way that game ended. Back to back pass interference calls. I mean, the game can't end that way. Especially when the first one I mean the second one against Tre'Davious White, I felt like wasn't pass interference. I mean, he was there a little bit early, but I feel like he didn't affect the receiver catching the ball, but he could just, I mean, the game can't end in overtime off back-to-back pass interference calls. I mean, I don't know. I think they gotta let the guys play, especially in overtime. I mean, maybe I know when they do reviews come from upstairs. I believe the flags that are thrown, they should come up from upstairs too. I mean, they have so much technology nowadays. They could pick out the fouls. I feel like the people in New York should call out when there needs to be a flag and whatnot. But that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, coming out this game, Broncos win. They advance to the championship game. But what did they sacrifice? They sacrificed Bo Nix. Bo Nix. I was on my way back to my dorm and I saw the ESPN notification. At first, I thought it said he hurt his shoulder, and then it says
Mhm.
broken bone in his ankle and he is done for the year. Broncos gonna be playing this AFC Championship with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. I mean, that is huge. We'll get into our prediction later, but that was huge news coming out this game. But as for the Bills, I mean, like I said, they had every shot to win this game. Josh Allen, obviously, he's the MVP, right? Josh Allen, the MVP. They had the best offensive line in football. What else they have? They had the best run game. And they had the best pass defense, and they still couldn't win. In a year without in a year without Mahomes and Lamar and Burrow, this was the year to win, and they blew their opportunity. But
Yeah, maybe
moving on.
that's what brought the tears was like was knowing that hey, this was the time. It didn't happen.
Yep.
Like you say, he's gonna have to move on. Broncos move on, and here we go again.
Yeah, then moving on, we had, this 49ers Seahawks. These two teams had played 2 weeks prior in week 18, and which was the defensive masterclass, but the Seahawks won 13-3. This game was everything but that. First play of the game was Sheet Shaheed takes it 97 yards to the house. And after that play, the game was over. I mean, the Seahawks didn't need a score after that return touchdown, and they still would have won this game. They just blew out the Niners 41-6. Not much to talk about game wise. I mean, you kind of expected it. The Niners were depleted with injuries. They got even more injured during this game. But you got to give credit where credit's due. I like to hate on the Niners a little bit just because as I'm a Raiders fan in the Bay Area, but I'll give credit to them. Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh, with all the injuries, no one thought they would have made it to the divisional round, and they did. They played phenomenal this year. They proved everyone wrong week after week. They just continued to show. They continued to fight through the injuries, and they had a great year. And if it all come we talked about it before. It all comes down to who's healthy, and every year it seems like they're unhealthy. Um, but man, yeah, they battled. They battled, and all you can do is give them props.
Yeah, yeah, Niners a little bit of the same, right, from that previous meeting they had before this game here. But yeah, the Seahawks just dominant. I mean, they just two to hold them to two field goals this game. I think they only had, what'd you say, 3 points the last game. I mean, even though they're depleted, Niners were scoring. They had Christian McCaffrey. Um, he was just like that old Swiss Army knife, scoring every which way. But like you said, just a masterful job coaching Kyle Shanahan, their system, Robert Saleh, the whole group. I think, yeah, he should be Kyle Shanahan. He should be talked about and coach of the year for what he accomplished. Like you said, going this far, with all the injuries, and I know that'll be tough for him to win because you have so many great coaches that did phenomenal
Yeah,
jobs this year,
phenomenal.
like
Mhm.
McDonald, and you got Sean Payton. They're still alive. They to turn the
Mike
teams
Vrabel in
around.
his first year with the Patriots. Yeah, a lot of
Vrabel
great
and Ben
coaches of the
Johnson.
years.
So it'll be tough for him to win since they're already out. But give him some consideration there. A couple of votes, but so that they'll look to get healthy in the offseason. Seattle moves on, and they're looking very good and scary.
Yes, they are. That's exactly what I was going to talk about. That defense is phenomenal. The defensive line dominated the Niners offensive line. And in most years, when the Niners offensive line is usually unhealthy, they were actually, I want to say, that one of the most healthiest parts of the team this year. They dominated the offensive line. The cornerbacks were fine offensively, even with the oblique injury. Sam Darnold played well. They did lose Zach Charbonnet. He tore his ACL. He was done for the
Oh
year.
yeah.
And I don't wish injuries on anyone, but I always thought Kenneth Walker should have been getting majority of the carries because they drafted him third round. He was probably one of the best running backs coming out of the draft class. I forgot when he was drafted, but he was drafted in the third round. And when Zach Charbonnet went out and he got the load of the carries, I mean, he went for 100 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. He was looking unstoppable.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get
Right.
himself a big payday. So for the Seahawks, they need to implement more run game for um. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Oh, for Kenneth, not Kenneth Walker, Kenneth Walker, because he's
Yeah.
explosive. He's a great running back, especially with the injury to Sam Darnold. You need to run the ball more to open up the pass. But yeah, they're looking great. Rams, we'll talk about that game in a little bit, but should be a good NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I
But
think so.
but moving on to the second AFC divisional round, we had Texans Patriots, and man, this game was frustrating, especially if you're a Texans fan.
Jeez.
Your defense
Yeah.
did all they could. Realistically, your defense gave up, let's see, 21 points, if that, could be less. But
Mhm.
CJ Stroud, it's time to have the conversation. Is CJ Stroud the future Texans quarterback? I mean, last week he was not great. They won obviously because they played the Steelers. This week was a different story. The defense did their job. They had a pick on Drake May. I believe they had 2 fumbles off Drake May. They they did their part against this defense. I know they sacked Drake May, I want to say 5 plus times. I don't remember the exact number, but the defense was phenomenal. Will Anderson, one of the best edge rushers in the game, he was phenomenal. Daniel Hunter was great. But CJ Stroud had 5 turnovers, I want to say. He had 4 picks. I mean, just
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about it when you saw his rookie year and you thought he was gonna be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And now you're looking back on the rookie year and you're wondering, where did this guy go? Where did this player go? Because he looks nothing like that. I mean, it was his own mistakes. He had a sack, or he was gonna get sacked, and instead he just threw the ball up. That got picked, returned for a touchdown. He was just not. I don't know if he had an injury or what, but his passes weren't on target. He was kept throwing behind his receivers. I mean, at one point he threw a ball behind his receiver. His tight end Stover tore his ACL. I mean, he's just. I don't know where rookie CJ Stroud is, but if the Texans had a mediocre quarterback didn't, who just managed, all I said was he just needed to manage the game. I didn't say he had to score points. He
Yeah.
just couldn't turn over the ball, but he turned it over about 4 plus times, and now they're eliminated. And so it brings up the question: what did the Texans do at quarterback? Obviously, CJ Stroud has another year left on his rookie deal, but right now they're not going to extend him. I mean, depending on how well he does next year, they might be looking for a new quarterback. So they have one, if not the best defense in the league, and all you need is a quarterback. You got great receivers. You got a great running back. Offensive line could use a little bit of improvement, but you just need a quarterback.
Yeah, like you said, you were just hoping that he would manage the game, let his defense do, what they've been doing all year. And yeah, 4 interceptions, and well, and again, we'll do the flip side of that. Mike Vrabel, you give him a week or so. He's from the Bill Belichick tree. They go ahead and put together a masterful defensive plan. That's been the MO of those guys for the longest time, and I think that's what happened was there wasn't enough talk for the Patriots defense, and they took that to the heart and went out and just made CJ Stroud uncomfortable, forcing him into all those turnovers, and that was really the difference there because CJ Stroud, he's a good quarterback, great. I don't not yet, maybe later on in the future, but right now I don't think so. But yeah, it's tough, like because there's not that many good quarterbacks out there after your starter. It's like everybody wants the backup quarterback if they're upset with their main quarterback. But then, like for the Raiders, right? It's like, okay, we're mad at Geno Smith, but here comes Kenny Pickett throwing the other team on the first pass. So it's like, it, you
Yeah,
know,
it's tough. It's tough
it's tough. So
anywhere.
we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, like you said, they had the whole offense, the whole off season to think about, how to move forward and how they could advance.
But yeah, you brought up a good point about the Patriots defense. They showed up. They showed up. They showed out. I mean, the corners were everywhere. The corners had multiple picks. The defensive line dominated the line of scrimmage. I mean, they were great. So we're gonna have 2 great games, regardless. But our final game in the divisional round was Rams Bears. We had a little bit of a snow game. Now, it was snowing a little bit during the game, but the field had snow all over it. And I mean, I don't know if it affected. I don't know if it was the Bears' defense, but Matthew Stafford in this past game, they struggled. Stafford was 20 of 42 for 258 yards. Kyron Williams, he was okay at 21 carries, 87 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns, But man, it's just I don't know if it was like I said the snow or just the defenses, but yeah, these
Yeah,
quarterbacks struggled a little bit.
these this California team, they were cold. They were playing in Chicago. It was like 19 degrees or 18 degrees. It was, felt like 15 or whatever they said. And Chicago, the Bears, I would think they're more used to playing in that kind of weather, playing into December and January and that and whatnot. But
Actually, no, I
yeah,
don't
I
think they're
just
used to
see,
playing in
you got these
January.
cat. They're used to the what's that?
I said I don't think they're used to playing in January. They're not normally in the playoffs.
Not yet, just this year, right? But yeah, no, that was that was a hell of a game.
hmm
I find myself rooting for the Bears, and when Caleb Williams threw that last touchdown to tie it up,
Oh my
that was
goodness, that
amazing.
was. I
That
mean,
was a
he back-to-back weeks he seems to make throw of the year. I mean, he was dropped back to about the 50-yard line, was leaning back, and he throws an absolute dime. Was offense pass interference? I thought at first, but then watching the replay, they were playing hand in
nah.
hand. He makes they and I thought the game was over. I thought it was fourth down. I see him running back. I said this game is over. Then I see the throw and I see the wide receiver or the tight end open in the end zone. I was like unbelievable. And then
Yeah,
they had a chance
three
to win
guys
it.
coming after him.
Yeah, they had a chance to win in overtime, and man, DJ Moore stops mid route and it leads to the Williams pick. Stafford's able to lead the offense down the way. Devontae makes a great couple of catches, and they get themselves in field goal range, and the Rams move on. They move on to the NFC Championship. As for the Bears, yeah, Caleb Williams did have three INTs. The first one was on a fourth down after Roma Dunze dropped a touchdown pass. Um, don't. It's tough. It's tough because fourth down they should have probably went for the field goal. They do go for it. They got a little aggressive. They didn't get it. I know he had the one in overtime. I'm trying to think of the second pick he threw. Um, I think it might have been like the third quarter. I don't know if it had much effect on the game. Obviously, you don't want to turn over, but I mean, he was great.
Yeah,
He did his best. The Bears have a bright future. Defensively, they need to get a little bit better. I feel like the defensive line wasn't as good as it was supposed to. But yeah, they have a bright future. They have their quarterback. They got a couple young receivers. They got a lot to look forward to.
yeah. Caleb Williams, he's growing up in front of our eyes. I mean, I thought he played a great game as well. I know he had the three interceptions, but just not he did not quit. He just
hmm
kept playing, even when three guys are rushing at him, ready to take him down with the clock ticking down. He still managed to just get off this unbelievable pass to pretty much almost wide open, receiver, and yeah, that was just amazing to see. I mean, that got me off my couch and just in awe, like just I can't believe that just happened. And yeah, they had chances, and I don't know if who's it, DJ Moore? I don't know, is he still on the team after not uh, laying
I
out
don't
or
know.
making a play on the ball?
Yeah, I mean,
They
I mean,
definitely weren't
the
on the same page,
safety.
but
Yeah, they would not, but the safety made a beautiful diving catch for that pick.
oh yeah,
And I heard the announcer say, that's what Caleb was looking DJ Moore to do was go out there and make that diving catch. It didn't happen. He threw the pick, and ultimately they lost. But yeah, Chicago's got a lot to look forward to. But moving on to our predictions for the NFC Conference Championships. We got on both games on Sunday. I don't know what I'm doing. Kind of weird times, and I think that's just because we're on the West Coast. But 12 p.m. and then 3:30. Little weird to me,
mm,
but it's whatever. We
a little
got
early.
Patriots Broncos in Denver. But with Jared Stidham at quarterback, I just can't see it. The Broncos defense hasn't been playing as great as they did to start the year. They dealt with a little bit of injury. I know Patrick Surtain left the game a little during the Bills game.
Mhm.
The Patriots defense was making CJ Stroud uncomfortable. I can't imagine what they're going to do to Jared Stidham. Offensively, I think Drake May needs to do a little better at managing the turnovers, try not to fumble as much. I'm gonna go with the Patriots on this.
Yeah, I mean, when your starting quarterback for the Broncos goes down, the guy that took you to where you're at today, this Sunday, it's and now you're backup who doesn't have a lot of reps, right? I don't even think he has a lot of starts in his career. I know he had one former Raider where he did a good job for the Raiders for like what, one game or whatever it was, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone thought that was the guy to take over the starting quarterback position for the Raiders. But We'll see. We're going to find out if Sean Payton's system has a plug and play type of system where he could just go ahead and take Bo Nix out and put Stidham in there, and he could manage that game and let the defense take care of the rest. But at this point in the in the NFL season, I mean, you're going against one of the top seeds with the Patriots, and they throughout the year they've proved they're 14-3, 18 and 8-0 away record. So I'm going with the Patriots as well. I think they'll be too much for the Broncos.
Yeah, I think they will be too. Um, and in the NFC, we got Rams Seahawks. We got an NFC West division game. It's gonna be a good game. In during the season they had a weird series. Rams beat them 21-19 in the first matchup. Sam Darnold threw 4 picks. In the second matchup, the Rams essentially should have won. A couple little BS calls, and the Seahawks won in overtime. So they had two great matchups throughout the season. So this is a tough one to me because part of me wants to see a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl because that was a really great Super Bowl last time. Tom Brady versus Russell Wilson. Marshawn didn't get the ball at the 1 yard line. Brings up a lot of nostalgia. So a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl would be cool, but I've been going with the Rams just because I believe Matthew Stafford is the MVP, and I believe MVPs win you games, and I'm gonna go with the Rams. I thought defensively they looked a lot better against the Bears. I know it was the snow game. I don't know how bad the snow affected, but I thought their defense stepped it up this past week. And I'm gonna go with Seattle. I'm not gonna go with Seattle. I'm gonna go with LA. I'm going with the
You got
Rams.
you got the Rams. Okay.
I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
the
it's it.
Rams Patriots Super Bowl.
Oh, there you go. Well, I actually like that whole thing you said, the old school, bring it back to the old school Patriots and Seahawks. Um, I just think the Seahawks are playing just some of the best football out there. Obviously, they're taking them to the Final Four. I think they win this hands down, and um, it's going to be a little bit warmer for the Rams, so maybe that will suit them well instead of playing in Chicago with that temperature and snow. Um, but yeah, I just think they're pretty dominant right now. And even though they're one of their two-headed monsters, our running back went down, I just think they're going to be fine with their give the load to Walker, like you said, um, so he could go ahead and just take over those carries, and they'll do fine with that. And Sam Donald's going to do what he's been doing all year too. So you get a couple good quarterbacks going at it. I do agree with you. Matt Stafford's the MVP. But for this game, I just think that defensively, the Seahawks are just going to bring it and just rough them up. So Seahawks and Patriots for me.
All right, so that is our predictions. Moving on to NFL news. A lot of news went down today. First news I didn't like that just happened most recently is the Chargers plan to hire, or I believe they did hire Mike McDaniel as the offensive coordinator, and that sucks because he was a head coach candidate for the Raiders. I thought he was a great offensive mind. Thought it'd been great working with the first overall pick. Who knows Mendoza? We'll see. But yeah, he goes to the Chargers. At first I was like, dang, that's gonna be really good for the Chargers. But then I thought again, I mean, it is just the Chargers, so we'll see. But that did happen. Packers released Trayvon Diggs. John Harbaugh, he goes to New York. I think good for them. However, and then Kevin Stefanski goes to Atlanta. However, the Bills fired Sean McDermott. Now, do I believe they should have fired Sean McDermott? No. And there's a couple reasons. One, he said that he felt they didn't have the roster to win the Super Bowl. I've said that many times before, and it was true. I mean, they didn't. They didn't have the roster. And their GM's the reason why they didn't have the roster. He's the guy who drafts the players, right? He makes the trades. I mean, the GM has not been good, and I'm surprised he still has his job. I mean, if you looked at the last, I want to say, couple of years of picks Brandon Bean has done, none of them have been great. I think the only good pick they've had is Dalton Kincaid. I mean, they don't make enough moves. They don't have like I said, they didn't have the roster. And I thought Sean McDermott was a winning head coach. I didn't think the loss to the Broncos was on him. I mean, yes, it was his decision to be aggressive at the end of the half, but then again, the ball's in Josh Allen's hands. You trust him not to turn over the ball, and he fumbles, leads to 3 points, and that ultimately kind of was the difference maker, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, I don't think Sean McDermott should have gotten fired. However, he does, and I wonder if John Harbaugh or Kim Stefanski are rethinking their decisions. Like, dang, did I commit too early? I could have been working with Josh Allen. But we'll see because John Harbaugh is going to Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo. Great young core in New York. Kim Stefanski is going with Bijan Robinson, Drake London,
Yeah.
potentially Kyle Pitts if he stays, and a young Atlanta team. So those two coaches with new teams, I think those are great hires. Um, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I think the Bills just they had what was he 9 years? He was coach of the Bills for 9 years or something like that. I
Wow.
think they were just they're looking for like a change now. I guess obviously it's not working. We continue to talk about them not being able to get over the hump and get to the Super Bowl. And yeah, the GM, he needs to take some of that. I believe he's still employed, but
Yes, he is.
yeah, they're pinning it all on the head coach. That's how it normally is,
I think
but
they used him as a scapegoat.
yeah, used him as a scapegoat. And um some yeah, I just don't think I just think it's just a change of scenery is what they're looking for. They're just like what do you call it, just wanting to move on type of thing. And I think that's what it came down to. And I think they had that feeling going into the game. If they don't reach this championship, at least the championship game,
Yeah.
let alone the Super Bowl, then we're gonna move on from the head coach. And yeah, a lot of coaches signing, and yeah, some of them maybe too soon. Right, I agree. I was already surprised Stefanski's gone, right, and then you said McDaniels is going to be the OC today, and it has me scared as a Raider fan. It's like, hey, this has happened before. All the head coaches get signed, and you're stuck with
E-
whatever's left.
Exactly. And another one, Robert Saleh, he's going to the head
Right?
coach of the Titans.
Jesus.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, good news, the Dolphins hired Jeff Hafley as their head coach. I don't know why they hired Jeff Hafley, but good for them. The Chiefs are going to bring back Eric Bieniemy as their next offensive coordinator. And that frightens me a little bit because him and Mahomes, when they were together, they were dominant. So there's that.
Yeah, he's a guy who's been
Lion,
a good coach
yeah,
for a
good
long time.
coordinator.
That
He was a
Yeah,
great
very
offensive
good
coordinator.
coordinator, and just hasn't had that opportunity for a head coaching job yet. But hey, just keep on trucking, I guess. Right? I mean, eventually that time will come. But yeah, I mean, it's like people are starting to sign now, and I think the Raiders are still looking to interview some actual current offensive coordinators that are playing still. So maybe that's what's the holdup.
Yeah, and the Lions hire former Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing as their offensive coordinator. So yeah, Raiders still looking. Obviously, they just finished the second interview with Jesse Minter and Ejiro Evero. I know they interviewed Clay Kubiak, and I believe they interviewed Clint, but I'm pretty sure they're just waiting on, who's gonna win. Kind of, I want to say they're gonna wait till the Super Bowl's over and whatnot. I think Sean McDermott should be on their list. I think he's a great candidate. But I don't think anything is scheduled with him yet. But yeah, no, a lot of jobs still open as well. A good amount did get filled though. However, there is still a lot of head coaches that are needed. But that is all for our NFL. A lot of news went down. Moving on to our weekly NBA standings. Kind of the same. Pistons, not kind of the same. A little bit different, but Pistons continue to grow their lead. They're 31-10. Moving up to second place is the Celtics. I've been saying it week after week. They're continue to impress me. Without Jason Tatum, they're the second best team in the East. I mean,
Mhm.
the Knicks should be ashamed. The Knicks should be ashamed that they're
Yeah,
not
I
first
think
or second.
they had a team meeting or a players only meeting today. The Knicks, Brunson and the Knicks, because yeah, they're just not playing to their capabilities or where they should be. Right, they should be there. They have this aspiration to be in the finals. So it's
And
kind of like you're not playing that well right now. Celtics are missing their main guy, and they're second seed. Right? It's not that far apart there in the seedings or in the games behind, but yeah, so we'll see what comes about that.
and the Knicks should be the best team, if not or one of the best, if not the best team in the East. Their starting lineup is essentially five All Stars. I mean, you got Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. You got Karl Anthony Towns. Josh Hart is great. I mean, if he obviously, I don't know if he's All Star level, but then they also have. Oh my goodness, who am I missing? No, I think I got everyone right. Yeah. Yeah, they have a
pretty much.
great lineup. They have a new head coach in Mike Brown. I mean, the third in the East tied with the Raptors, who are also 25 and 19. But yeah, I mean, the Knicks got to figure it out. They got to figure it out because they keep adding to the team, but they're not getting any better. So we'll see. But the Raptors are fourth seed. The 76ers are the fifth seed, followed by the or no, tied up the Magic. The Magic are the sixth seed. Cavs, man, they were the first seed last year. They're down to the seventh seed this year, followed by the Heat at the eighth seed. The Bulls and the Hawks fill up the ninth and tenth seed. In the West, Thunder still lead the way, 36 and 8. They would have to go perfect if they want to beat the record. It ain't happening.
Not happening.
So we could move past those talks. Followed by the Spurs, who are 30 and 13. They've been playing great. Wemby shaved his head. He's bald now, and they're
Yeah.
still playing great. Followed by the Nuggets, who are the third seed at 29 and 14. The Timberwolves are moved up to the 27 and 16. Rockets are 25 and 15. They're the fifth seed. Suns are moved up. They're 27 and 17. The Lakers have fallen bad. They are 5 and 5 in the last 10. They are down to the 7th seed at 25 and 16. And they might get passed by the Warriors. So the Warriors are 25 and 19. So we'll see how that goes. And then the ninth seed is the 22 and 22 Trailblazers. And filling out the last playing spot is the Clippers at 19 and 23. And injury
And I was
wise,
I'm always
oh,
like, if they did not trade Luca to the Lakers, where would the Lakers be?
not even probably like where the Kings are.
Yeah, I mean, God, thanks, Nico. He's not even around enough to
Yeah.
see what's going. Nico Harrison, just that trade still bothering me because you're giving life to. I mean, Lakers to me. I mean, they've always been good. You know, you start talking some of the greatest players to ever play the game. Had Laker jerseys on, right? And then they go ahead and give him another one, and Luka Doncic. And it's like, come on, man. Yeah, they're struggling with him. So imagine without him and an aging LeBron, then yeah, they'd be like out of the top 10 for sure. But Warriors, on the other hand, I mean, they have a lot to, like Jimmy Butler said, they're a mediocre team, right? And I do expect the trade to happen to go down come next month because they have a lot of work to do if they want to just stay out of the play-in again.
Yeah, no, they've been playing great. They've won the last four. They're playing a lot of good basketball, but unfortunately, they just lost Jimmy Butler for the year. Jimmy Butler last night tore his ACL. He is done for the year, and now it's panic mode for the Warriors. You've been playing great. Steph's obviously Steph.
Yeah.
Al Horford, D'Anthony Melton off the bench. They've been fantastic. Pajemski's been great the last week or so. I mean, the guys are starting to play better, but they just lost their guy who's averaging 25 and 5. I mean, Jimmy Butler was playing so well lately for the Warriors, and now he's done for the year. And the harsh realities of it, they're gonna trade him. Now, what are they gonna do with Jimmy Butler? I have the exact answer. They
Let
trade
me hear.
him, Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler, Kaminga, Buddy. You send a first round pick or two to the Bucks for
Uh,
Giannis. You got to go for Giannis. I think you're at the
wow.
point. I don't think you. I think you're at the
And the
point where you
Bucks,
got it. It's Giannis or nothing, right? I mean, yeah, Michael
are they
Porter
going to
Jr.
do
would.
that? That's not bad. Let's see. You
I
said
mean, yeah, it's a lot.
you
Kaminga, Butler,
okay, Butler
Hield,
and a
and
first,
probably two first round picks for
two
Giannis.
first round picks.
And you
Dang.
do it. You do it because the Bucks aren't going nowhere. They're not. They don't
Yeah.
have their all star point guard. Their
Hmm.
Chris Middleton. They have a
Yeah.
terrible squad.
They're getting booed at home. Did you see that? Like
Yeah, they're
they're
getting booed
they're getting
out.
booed at home, and Giannis was booing back the other
Yeah,
night. He was just looking at everybody. Boo.
it doesn't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. They're probably not going to make a trade at the deadline. I think the best thing they could do is recoup a lot of money, get some young talent, a guy like Kaminga.
So
And the
do,
Warriors,
do
I
the
think,
Bucks? Do the Bucks? I mean, I was asked about the Jimmy Butler now and his trade value. I'm just kind of like he'll be out like what, a year?
yeah,
I
no, it's
mean,
just his
and
contract's up
and he's
I
owed
want
a
to say
lot
at
of
the end of the
money.
year. No, I think his contract's up at the end of the year, so he's just a salary dump. I think a move to like that to the Bucks will give him a lot of free them up a lot of money. And it's for the Warriors. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. would be great. However, I think at the point where Jimmy Butler's out,
Yeah,
you need a dominant force. I know Michael Porter
yeah,
Jr. is great, but you need a dominant force. I
right.
think Giannis is that guy. You pair Giannis with Steph. You give the Warriors a little bit extra future time post Steph era,
Yeah,
and I think it's a good. Trade for Milwaukee, you get a couple picks. You get a young guy in Kuminga. He's only 24. You get Buddy Hield, he's a great shooter, and then you get the salary. You get the free money, right? You get the free money. You get off Giannis' deal. You won't have to
And two
pay Jimmy.
future
You just
picks.
yeah, and then you get the salary dump of Jimmy Butler. You get a lot of free money. You could sign free agents need be, and you kind of just rebuild because I mean, after losing Dame, they signed Miles Turner. And even signing Miles Turner's not even like that special. I mean, he's
Yeah,
an okay center, but I mean, they
right.
just don't have any All Stars. I mean, when they won the championship team, they had Drew Holiday in his prime, great point guard. Chris Middleton was in his prime, best years. And they had a solid line of Brook Lopez. They had a solid team, but after that, they haven't just really had that solid team. Yeah, they got Dame, but he wasn't playing that great. Obviously, he tore his Achilles. He's out. I think the Bucks need
He's
to
out. Yeah.
rebuild. And I'll say it again, like I've said it before. Giannis's biggest mistake in his career was signing his extension with the Bucks.
Yeah, now because now that you look at it now, it's like now he's requesting a trade, right? Now he's looking into like, hey, I want to be traded. It's not working out either the way he was promised or what he thought it was going to be. It's now he's unhappy. He's getting booed at home, and yeah, and this management, Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy, they'll make that call. They'll say, "What do you want?" You know what I mean? I don't know if they'll just blank check. Here's a blank check. We'll give you our whole team or whatever it is. But I do think they will go after that. They've been proven to go after free agents. During the trade deadline, obviously with Jimmy Butler. As soon as they got Butler, how was that? You know what I mean?
I
That
mean,
was a huge
what
boost.
was their winning percentage? But they were 40 wins. Was it 12 losses? No, not 12 losses. They were 40 wins. I forgot what the record was, but it was about 70%. It was
Yeah,
something
I was gonna
crazy.
say as long as they don't put Pajemski in there, because ever since he met you, he's been on
Yes.
fire.
I took a
he's
picture of
he
Pajemski about last
he.
week, and he's been dropping about 15 plus a game, so I'm not
Yeah,
complaining.
he's averaging 15, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 24 last night, and I think he's crediting he credited the great Drew Barretto on his
He
on his
should. I gave him a little
insightful.
words of encouragement. I said, "Hey, keep playing, bro. We appreciate you." And I
Yeah,
think those little
yeah,
bit of words are just. But yeah, no. I honestly hope they keep Pajemski, especially if he keeps playing how he is. They currently are playing right now. I don't know the score. But yeah, no. So I think the Warriors should definitely try to get Giannis. You have your picks. You have the young talent coming here. You have the salary dump that might be appealing to Milwaukee. So Milwaukee's not winning nothing. They're not
we'll
winning
see.
nothing this year. They might as well just give it up, right? I don't know. That's just me. I'm not a GM. Maybe I will be in the future. Who knows? But that is all I got for you for the NBA. To end this off, we got some big MLB free agency news. First thing I want to say, if you really love baseball and you appreciate baseball, well, appreciate this next season because there won't be baseball in 2027. Why? Well, the Dodgers signed Kyle Tucker to a 4-year, $240 million deal.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, 60 million a year. Is he worth 60 million a year? Absolutely not. But that's what they
Yeah,
paid to get him. And now they have even before they had the best team in baseball. Now they even have the best team in baseball. I don't
yeah.
know. But yeah, this is definitely going to cause some chaos in the already did cause chaos in the baseball world.
Hmm.
But come 2027, there's a good chance we might not have a baseball season in 2027. So we really got to appreciate
Lockout.
this next year. But that wasn't the only big news. After he signed with the Dodgers, Mets went out and they got Bo Bichette. Now, kind of absurd to me that they got Bo Bichette because Bo Bichette plays shortstop or second base. However, the Mets have Francisco Lindor and they traded for Marcus Semien. So they had planned on having Bo Bichette play third base. Don't know how that's going to go, but they give him a $126 million deal. It's a 3-year, $126 million deal. So that's a lot of money there as well. We'll see how that ends up. But yeah, big signings, two big free agents off
Yeah,
off the
there's
board.
a lot of cash is being thrown around in the MLB. Yeah, so is that what you're
Well,
talking about? Where you think they won't play in 2027
yeah,
because
because I
it's
think they're
unfair
create a
for some of
salary
these
cap.
smaller markets?
Yeah, they're definitely gonna find some solution. Don't know if it'll be a salary cap. Maybe it's like I don't know. Maybe like you're limited on free agents. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Most likely a salary cap. It's gonna be tough. There's gonna be, a lot of criticism, but it's yeah, and especially when they're bought not built. I guess like, when back in the days when teams were built, right, when they drafted players and they won championships and they became dynasties.
Yeah.
That's I guess what people enjoy. That's when they like the dominance. But when you buy your whole team, it's brutal.
And now that's a big signing for the Dodgers, another big signing for the Dodgers, right? And then you're all but assured yourself in the in the World Series.
Yeah,
And pretty much like yeah, it's gonna be hard to deal with if you're the other teams.
yeah. No, they're definitely gonna want going. I mean, they won the World Series this past year. Yeah, it went to 7 games, but then they signed the best reliever, the best closer on the market, and then they signed
Yeah,
one of the best hitters on the market. So it's like they're going for the three-peat, and not much other teams can do. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But that is
yeah.
all for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I'd like to thank my co-host, my uncle, for joining me today. We're almost gonna hit 1 year on the podcast. It's crazy to say, but I
Is that right?
believe I want to say maybe next week. Next week will be the 1 year anniversary. I'll have to see, but we're
Okay.
gonna come up on 1 year. So we'll I'll look. I'll find the date and I'll bring it up most likely the next episode. But thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget we're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. One last time, thank you. I want to thank my co-host for joining me today. And until next time, stay ready.